What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Celtics Daily Channel with me, Mike Zakarian, as we continue to dive into the Boston Celtics NBA season. And good Lord, this one feels a little bit different. This one feels a little bit different as the Celtics are 0-3 heading into week 2 of the NBA season. First time they've started 0-3 in just forever. First time under Missoula. So definitely some takeaways from that first week. Some, things to build on if we want to be glass half full about it. We're going to get into both of those games that happened over the weekend. You had the Knicks on Friday and the Pistons yesterday. We'll take a look at some bright spots and then, I don't know, kind of see where we're looking for the future, as they say. But before we do that, if this is your first time hanging out with us, hey, thanks for hanging out. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, do all the things. Get involved in the chat, too. It's good for the algorithm, good for me, good for you, it's good for us. So go ahead and get involved in there. All right, let's go. Let's start with this first game, or the second game of the weekend. We'll start with the most recent one, the Pistons, because I think there was the most glaring stuff to take away from that game in comparison to the Knicks. So Celtics ran out a starting five of Hugo already. So after, and again, we'll talk about the Knicks game, but one of the takeaways from that game was on Amazon Prime. That's where the game was aired. Blake Griffin and Steve Nash were gushing about Hugo, saying that that's the type of guy that Missoula loves. And then it was like that game alone, all of a sudden put Hugo in the starting lineup. Only played 18 minutes, though. Didn't score a bucket. Only took 2 shots. Had 2 steals, a block, though. But anyways, Hugo got the start next to Peyton Pritchard, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Nehemias Queta. So he took the Sam Hauser starting spot. When we look at the bench, Hauser and Simons were the 2 guys that played the most minutes. One thing to note, Simons only played 23 minutes in this game compared to the 30-plus he's played in previous games. Hauser got 24. Josh Minott, after not playing on Friday, which we'll talk about, he got 14 minutes. Garza got 13 minutes, and it was Chris Boucher who kind of got squeezed a little bit. Only played 9 minutes in this game. Really confusing how they are using Boucher so far this season. But anyways, let's get into this game. Some positives. Jaylen Brown. 41-point game from JB. JB had a weird weekend. I guess it was on the court, but a lot of commentary on the hairline, if you will. I'll let you do some internet sleuthing instead of me explaining it to you. But anyways, he had 41, 6, and 4 in this game on 12 of 25 shooting, knocked down 5 of his 9 3-point attempts. Peyton Pritchard finally got the shot going a little bit. Still not the 3-ball. 3-ball only shot 2 for 8, but he had 21 points, 10 boards in this game. 10 boards. And that's of note because Peyton Pritchard led the team in rebounding yesterday. All right. Queta picked up 6 boards. He had 4 and 6 in his 26 minutes. Yet Derek White had 4 boards. JB had 6 boards. I think Queta 6. I don't know if I said that incorrectly. Hugo only 1. And then when you go to the bench, Hauser had 4. So unacceptable. Listen, I love Peyton Pritchard. I think I made some cases for him for like all-star, borderline all-star level stuff, 3-point shot. I talked a lot about Pritchard in this offseason. One of the things that I mentioned was that his rebounding was a little bit better than people gave him credit for. But this ain't it. Leading the team in rebounding. Detroit just big-bodied him, right? So the Celtics got a total of 38 rebounds in this game, okay? Let's look at Detroit. Detroit, on the other hand, 55 rebounds. The Pistons almost got 19 offensive boards. 19 offensive boards compared to the 12. And this is what the difference maker was, right? It was the rebounding. The Celtics just inability to get boards. And Pritchard can't be the guy that leads the way. Just to break this down a little bit, the Celtics won the first quarter by 9, lost the second quarter by 11, lost the third quarter by 11. Then they come back. They start storming back. They get it to within 3. I think at one point they forced Tobias down 3, making this great comeback, right? Normally we're on the other end of these comebacks. Make a great comeback. They force Tobias Harris into a tough shot. And then I think it's either Jalen Duren comes in, he grabs an offensive rebound, he misses a shot. Asar Thompson comes in, grabs another rebound, puts it back in, and then it's cookies. It's over. And this is the problem. This is the problem from the beginning, right? Is that if you are not you lose Jason Tatum, you lose Al Horford, and however you feel about 40-year-old Al, Kristaps Porzingis, Luke Cornett, Drew Holiday, those dudes grabbed boards. Although I'm hesitant to, clearly I didn't research this yet, so I'm hesitant to even say it, but I'm just going to look at the Blazers box score quickly from last night, because I'm curious to see how many boards our guy Drew Holiday pulled down. Also, Holiday, I know you're probably not watching Portland games. Holiday's having a nice little start to the season, so shout out our guy Drew. Drew Holiday last night, 6 boards. He had 6 boards, 21.7 times and 6 boards. Shout out Drew Holiday. It's just unacceptable. You're not going to win games like this if you're going to get outboarded, and if you are going to get out rebounded, you gotta play better. You gotta play better offensively. Again, another day of shooting poorly from three, 33%, 15 on 45 attempts. I mean, Josh Minot gave him a little bit of something. At least he was shooting the ball, which he hasn't done in previous games. He had 10 points. He had 3 steals out there too. But man, you just got bullied around, and there's no answer to this outside of playing harder. And which is kind of crazy, all right? I understand. I'm looking into a camera and I look the way that I look. Me telling professional athletes to play harder is the dumbest thing. I'm not saying that they are not playing hard. I am saying they are going to have to play harder because this roster, it's not like all of us, hey, you know what we got to do? Let's get that 7-foot guy off the bench that we haven't been playing. Though that doesn't exist on this roster. Like the guys that are out there are the guys that are going to be out there. Those are the ones that are going to have to rebound. And again, just unacceptable for Peyton Pritchard to be leading the team in boards. I don't want to take anything away from Detroit. Detroit had a really good game. Like I think they are a good team, and I mean the Celtics are losing to teams that they are better than them, right? The Knicks and the Pistons, I think, are going to be teams that are better than them. The issue, and this is kind of what I pointed out after that first game against Philly, like when you lose those games, it puts so much more pressure on the games that you probably weren't. You had like a 50-50 shot at best anyways, right? And so now, instead of being 1-2 where you're like, hey, we won a tough game at Philly, New York, we got off to a slow start, Detroit, we came back, right? Like you can build off that a little bit. Now they go into game 4, a back-to-back against the New Orleans Pelicans tonight, against the Zion Williamson, who has been freakish so far. So there's like some real, I don't know. I feel I'm so mad at myself and I don't want to be like the sky is falling, but it's falling a little bit, and I don't want to be mad at myself because I talked myself into this team. All off season, I was like, don't even worry about this, man. Don't even worry about this year. Let's just get the guys in good shape. Let's keep everybody healthy. Let's get Tatum back after a full year off. And then JT went out there being like, what if I dunk right now? Maybe I can come back right now. And it talked me into it. And now my bleeding heart. To give Detroit a little bit of love here, Cade Cunningham. He had 25 and 8 in this game. But as I mentioned, and I think if you are someone in the betting streets, not financial advice, or somebody in the fantasy sports streets, targeting centers against the Celtics is just going to work this year. And Joel Embiid threw us off the scent because he was only playing 20 minutes a game, which Nick Nurse didn't tell us until after the fact. But Cat did it. We'll talk about him. But then Jalen Duren last night, 24 points, 18 rebounds, 8 of them offensive rebounds. Jalen Duren had 8 offensive rebounds. Now, Duren's a big boy anyway, so maybe that was going to happen, but 8 offensive boards? Just unacceptable stuff. Unacceptable stuff from the rebounding. Again, Peyton Pritchard can't be the guy leading the team. Let's go to the Knicks game from Friday night, which again was kind of a similar story of just like, there was a little pushes there at the end. One thing about JB, actually, before we go to the Knicks game, like it was nice to see him look electric a little bit. Like honestly, that was kind of the Jaylen Brown I thought we were going to be getting. A little bit of a slow start, but he was managing a hamstring, right? So maybe he's not 100% healthy. Maybe he had to play himself into it. He at least looked good in that game against the Knicks. Not really the case. IMO against the he looked good against the Pistons, not necessarily against the Knicks. So this Knicks game, 105-95. 95. What is this? 1998? This is the 2025-2026 Boston Celtics, right? We thought we're going to be playing like everybody was taking speed. We're going to be flying all over there. Going into now, this might have changed. I don't have the numbers with the Pistons game in there. Let me see if I can get it though. Let me see if I can get it real time while we start talking about this Knicks game because they were just actually we're not going to look it up because obviously you can't tell I was multitasking. But going into the Detroit game, and of course it's only a 2-game sample size, so like let's all chill out. The Celtics were the 4th slowest team in the league. Why? I mean, the part of the reason was we were going to play so fast is because Tatum wasn't there. And Tatum's one of the reasons he slows everything down. Because he's good. I mean, it makes sense for him to slow things down because he's an elite player. He gets to his spots, all those things. Right. But, like, why is this team playing slow? You only scored 95 points against the New York Knicks. I know they have Mike Brown, but they didn't have Mitch Robinson in this game. Like, these are the starting fives for the Knicks. They had McBride, Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns, and OG Anunoby. And in this one, Cat, who's not 100% healthy. Karl-Anthony Towns playing with a grade 2 quad strain. 26 points, 13 boards. He had 6 offensive rebounds. Mikal Bridges had 2 offensive rebounds. Miles McBride had 2 offensive rebounds. Yabusele had 3 offensive rebounds. Josh freaking Hart had 6 offensive rebounds. They got out-rebounded in the offensive category, 21-8, and then in the game, 53-37. This is just going to be the story each and every time. In this one, again, another just weird performance where, like, Jaylen Brown had 23 points but only took 18 shots. 9 for 18. Like, you just think JB's going to be taking more shots, right? Derek White, 3 for 11 from 3. Again, what did I say? They went 15 for 45 in the Detroit game. In this game, they went 15 for 44 from 3. This one, Hugo, I mentioned him. He came off the bench, played 23 minutes. He had 6 and 4. Simons played 27 minutes, 10 points, 4 dimes. And Boucher only played 15 minutes. This team is searching. Like, you can tell they do not feel comfortable with their rotations, both like defensive rotations, but also Mazzulla clearly doesn't feel comfortable with his rotations. And it was really cute in the preseason when, like, somebody makes a mistake and we're like, oh, everybody's being held accountable. We got to pull them out right now. But I mean, I don't know how anybody's going to get into a flow right now where no one feels comfortable in their role, you know? So I hate to be all Debbie Downer here. I think there are some positive takeaways, and one of them is being Hugo. Like, I think Hugo looking as strong as he is. I think Josh Minot has looked good too. But I mean, that kind of tells you where we're at right now. Which, by the way, let's just look at that Minot number. Yeah, so he was a DNP, did not play. So you go from playing like anywhere from 14 to 22 minutes to not playing. I don't get it, man. I don't understand the full, like, this early to be yanking everybody around so aggressively. And I guess to Joe's credit, like, nothing's worked. So you have to try a bunch of stuff. But usually that's what the preseason's for. So for all of a sudden the regular season switch to be turned and the Celtics aren't turning is a little bit concerning. And let's look at their upcoming schedule here, because I mentioned the Pelicans, but like, when are they getting a win? When are they getting a win? The Celtics are 4.5-point underdogs today against the New Orleans Pelicans. They are on the road. I mean, I don't think that's the craziest thing. They're on the road. It is a back-to-back. Pelicans aren't on a back-to-back. That makes sense. But ready, they go. They're on the road at Pelicans. Then they're home against Cleveland. Cleveland, who's been off to a pretty good start. And then on the road against the 76ers in the first cup game. The 76ers, who have looked like low-key kind of fun. I thought I know Embiid hasn't really been playing. 76ers are playing a pace that I thought the Celtics were going to play, just like fast, ripping it. And then you've got they've got the Rockets on November 1st, and then the Jazz and Wizards. So, like, Jazz on November 3rd. So we've got what? Okay, Pelicans, Cavs, 76ers, Rockets. That's our next 4 games. I don't know why I had to look at my hand to know that was 4. Is that an 0-7 start? A 1-6 start? Tough stuff. It's tough sledding out here in Beantown, boys. I'm a little bit bummed out. I mean, I guess the Pistons game, at least there was some effort there. And again, not that they weren't trying in the Knicks game, but like there felt like there was no sense of urgency in that Knicks game. And in the Pistons one, it seemed like they were scrambling a little bit in a positive way, like just trying to make something happen. But again, like and I'm going to make fun of myself. Like, oh, you got to try harder. You need more effort. I mean, the reason I say that is I don't know. I feel like Rick Pitino is like, Al Horford's not coming through that door. I mean, Tatum might come through that door, but not until March. And even then, at what point are you bringing Tatum back? Like, what's that record look like in March, you know? And that's like, that kind of takes us to the future. Couldn't help but look at all of the college stuff over the weekend, where one of the Boozer kids, I think it was Cam Boozer, went off for Duke with like 24 points and 23 rebounds. So AJ Dubinska, I feel like I'm not pronouncing his last name correct. He went off this weekend. This upcoming draft class is just absolutely insane. And so you look at those performances and you look at what's happening in Boston with our performances. That was a generous hour there, but with how the Celtics are playing, and you're just like, hey, maybe we kind of go back to what old Zakarian was saying in June before he got bamboozled by all of the speak coming out of camp. Maybe we've learned that I'm a vulnerable, gullible man. But, like, again, just you look at what Jaylen Brown's do. Like, is it worth running JB into the ground this year? Is it worth running Derek White into the ground? Let you go develop. Let you go develop. Jordan Walsh and Baylor Shireman played a combined 6 minutes in the game against the Knicks. How many minutes did they play? There we go. Jordan Walsh was a DNP, and Baylor Shireman played 5. So maybe you use this opportunity. And again, I'm not saying punt right now, but let's fast forward 3 weeks from now. Because for me, the biggest barometer of what do we do the rest of the season is where are we at Christmas? Because I think that's a couple months in. And then you can start appropriately game planning for what the rest of what the second half of the season is going to look like. And if the Celtics are finding themselves in the Brooklyn Nets category of the world, again, only 3 games, but there's only 3 teams winless right now in the Eastern Conference, and it's the Boston Celtics, the Indiana Pacers, and the Brooklyn Nets. Even the Raptors got a W. Right now, Chicago's atop the East. Chicago and Philly both 2-0. And again, so the Rockets and Pelicans also teams who have yet to get a W, so maybe that looks different. But I don't know. I think you get to Christmas and you reevaluate. You say, hey, listen, we're 6 games under 500. Let Jaylen Brown. How about you only play 42 games this year? Go trade Simons. Go trade Sam Hauser. Go get ready to rebuild so that when Tatum comes back, everybody's fresh, healthy, ready to go. Because this current team, this current iteration of this squad, even if they start ripping off some W's, is not making a second round, right? It's going to be a fun playoff. It's going to be a fun first-round playoff, maybe a 6-game series. But, they're not top 4 material. They're not. And again, I'm trying so hard not to be skies falling, but I'm also trying to be realistic. I'm not saying they should be firing people. I'm not saying they should have a fire sale or anything like that. I don't even think we need to freak out about Jaylen Brown. I'm just saying, looking at the product on the floor, they're not rebounding, they're not playing fast, and they're not hitting threes. And those are the 3 if you had to pick 3 things, it was going to be that. Will this team be able to hold up on the boards? Are they going to play psycho speed? And then are they going to shoot? Are they going to hit 40% from 3 one night? And not only that, they're barely getting to 34%. I don't know if they've hit more than 15 threes in a game yet. And so again, who knows? Maybe Jaylen Brown goes Aquaman here for a couple weeks and they start ripping off W's and upsetting some teams. But this current iteration, they're not doing the things that they need to do. And it's weird because Kate is actually held up okay. I don't think anyone's being we've got our starting center of the future, but he's definitely he's looking good and he's got room to grow. But the Garza Tillman stuff is just untenable. You can't rely on it. It's only you want that for a couple minutes a game. You don't want a lot of that. And unfortunately, the Celtics have to rely on a lot of that. And the Boucher thing is stunning. How is Boucher, Boucher was looking good, playing 20-plus minutes, 25-plus minutes a game in the preseason with the starters. Did he get hurt? Did I miss something? Did I miss an injury report? Oh, man. It's you can't tell it's really early in the morning here, and this is how I'm starting my week. I'm just a cranky man. We need to hopefully tonight, against them Pelicans, we can bounce back a little bit, and then I'll come in tomorrow with hot cocoa or something, and we'll just have some cheer. Maybe that's what it is. I turned the heat on for the first time in this building. I made it sound like I live in a lair, but maybe it's just the idea of putting the heat on's pissed me off. Let's get into some of your comments from yesterday, or from Friday, excuse me, the last time we rolled around a video in there, which is a reminder. Do me a favor. Like the video. If you haven't liked the video, like the video. It's just good. It's good. Hit the subscribe. And I also just want to take a second to plug. You might see me in the comments myself, Mike Zakarian's NBA Bit. That's my other YouTube channel. We do a daily live stream every day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, just catching you up on all things hoops. Some of you have been over there. Come hang out. All right, let's get into some of your comments from the other day. Let's go. Wesley Lee said they just need to get comfortable with each other, talking about the Celtics. Just let Simons run point, him and Peyton Pritchard, but I never give up on my team's Boston strong, baby. All right, well, Boston strong. Here we go. Whoop says JB needs more finesse in the paint. He's our only solid penetrator, but constantly gets offensive fouls because he bulldozes people. And White and Kata/Garza need to work on the lob game, pick and rolls. Yeah, listen, I don't know if you've watched a lot of Garza. You're not going to see a lot of lob balling with Luka Garza. But Kata, you're right. Some rim running is pretty good. AJB over the weekend said, even though the Celtics are 0-2, I'm not too discouraged. They're a new team and still figuring out defensive assignments and spacing on offense, but overall, they're making good reads and the shot selection hasn't been terrible. I'm not worried about the shooting percentages. Those rise and fall for any team. However, the margin for error closes when you lose the rebounding and free throw battle as bad as they did against New York. And where was my nod? Yeah, great. I think this is exactly what I would have said on Saturday. Is just kind of like, why didn't we get my nod? Maybe the shooting will come back, but you gotta attack the boards a little bit, and that's what hurts. The Truth was talking to me about the Sixers game, saying, I genuinely think Maxey is better. Doesn't have to rely on free throws. He can get to the rim. Yeah, Maxey's awesome, dude. Maxey's awesome. The Real Dawn said, tomorrow, can you speak on Trae Young joining the Celtics? Rumor it's a spicy top. Oh, no, I don't. What do y'all think about Peyton Pritchard-Hauser and draft picks for Trae Young? No. I don't think that's happening. I mean, it would be fun for the Celtics to get a real point guard. I don't know why Atlanta would do that. The only reason I could see Atlanta doing that is if they have decided they don't want Trae Young there for the few, or they don't want to pay Trae Young, because Trae Young is due for a deal this offseason. So I don't think so, though. I don't think so. I mean, that's fun. It's fun, but I don't think so. All right, I think that's gonna. All right, here we go. White Square here said I see what White Square was doing. White Square was trying to do like a really funny joke. He said Celt Chicks. Celt Chicks. Had to read it a couple of times because I didn't know if he was just like weirdly talking about women, but what I think he was doing was calling us ladies for being fans of the Celtics, which is, okay. Congrats, dude. Congrats. You're still making jokes a fifth grader would make in 1992. So I'm proud of you. Proud of you for your level of creativity. He said, Celtics fans still salty about the Sixers loss. Ha, 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 ha. Ain't our fault Pritchard can't shoot. Hold the L. I like to think about what type of content I watch, right? Now, I'm a Celtics fan. I don't know if I'm checking out the Spurs Daily Show every day. So I respect the hustle, the grind of him, of watching other niche YouTube channels about teams his team has played. So congrats. Sexers, how was that? Did I do a good job coming back? You dork. Appreciate everybody hanging out today. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe. We out. See you.